Welcome back to the channel. This week I've spent my entire time with this 2025 Genesis G80 Sport Plus all-wheel drive. Now the Sport Plus all-wheel drive just means that it's the best Genesis G80 that money can buy. As tested price for this one's going to be around $89,000 Canadian, which yeah, sure is expensive, but if you look at its German competitors, pretty competitively priced. I really did enjoy my time with this thing. Feels very luxurious, looks unique. It doesn't look like anything that we're used to seeing really. It looks specifically like a Genesis and definitely done enough to separate itself from that Hyundai brand. As usual, I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and of course, POV drive. Let's get into it. So first up, we start off with the front end. It's a little cold out today, and the car is surprisingly clean, which is pretty cool. So we'll take a close look. I like the daytime running LEDs. You can see a little bit of the rims there. Really nice front grille, not too much of a change for 2025. You have this little guy right here that's gonna house some of the sensors and stuff. Nice Genesis badge. Parking sensors, front-facing camera, you name it, we have it here. The front of the Genesis G80, matter of fact, the entire Genesis G80 looks kind of like a stealth wealth kind of thing. It's under the radar luxury. It costs a lot, but you might not necessarily know that it does. And I think that's pretty cool. So next up, we're going to take a look under the hood for the Genesis G80. Since I have the Sport Plus trim, I get the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. That's going to give us 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, and of course, we get the all-wheel drive. Now, you don't have to get the fully upgraded version of the Genesis G80. You can get like a 4-cylinder, and I believe it's still like a pretty good amount of horsepower either way if you don't go with the Sport Plus. Now, Sport Plus also comes with the Sport Tune electronic controlled suspension with the road preview, 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels, sport leather seatings, Napa leather. I've got a surround view mirror, aluminum pedals, lane follow assist, rear wheel steering, Sport Plus drive mode with a launch control, parking collision, and the list goes on and on and on. It's quite a bit of features you get for the Genesis G80 in the top trim. Very, very good stuff. All right, so quickly we come along to the side profile for the Genesis G80. You can really get a sense of how big this vehicle is. I mean, it's a long sedan, plenty of space though on the interior, which you'll see in a second, but I like these rims. I'm not sure about the color. I feel like they blend with the wheels a little too much. I would have liked something that makes the wheels stand out a little bit more. This kind of makes the car look all one color. It's kind of weird. Maybe a blacked out rim would have been good in this situation. I'm surprised I'm saying that because I don't like that. I like the Genesis brake pad though. If we get a little bit closer here, when you turn on the turn signals, you'll also get some lights there too, so it's very cool. I like the chrome accents here as well. We got the sensors for the door handles. So far they work pretty flawlessly actually, and you can see when the wheel is turned. I don't know if you can see it right now, but most of the time when the wheel is turned, front wheels are turned, these guys will be turned. So let's see on the other side. Yeah, you can kind of see the wheel slightly angled from a normal back wheel if it didn't have all-wheel steering, right? So last but not least though, let's check out the rear. Really like the rear actually. Looks kind of sporty. They did not hide the exhaust. Not a crazy noise from them, but still good to see there. And I like these tail lights too, kind of iconic Genesis. They have, looks like the Genesis G70 a lot. They do have kind of family similarities, if you will. You can definitely tell they're related, brother and sister type thing. I like the all-wheel drive 3.5 T-liter badge right there. Press this button here for the trunk. Automatic opening and closing. You can see it got tripod, stroller. All my needs are right here. Plenty of space. I mean, that trunk goes on for days. It's a really big trunk for a sedan, and I think you'll be able to fit all your stuff in here, no problem. And then one touch right here, you're gonna close it. All good to go. So that's gonna do it for my exterior tour of the Genesis G80. Let me know what you think of the specs and the trim so far, but let's hop on the inside. All right, so up first, as usual, is going to be the rear for the Genesis G80. Look at this interior. Yes, it starts right now. I mean, I've got privacy shades because you can afford a very expensive vehicle, so you don't want to see the poor people. Got this nice trim here, the red. I mean, how much red is too much red? We're about to answer that question because there is a ton of red in here. It is just crazy. Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is very nice to have. We always like to see that, so let's hop in here. Extremely easy to do. The doors, all 4 doors, are soft closing, so that'll take care of itself. Don't need to slam your doors at all or put any effort into anything because it's luxurious. So once I'm sitting in, this is my driver profile. I'm not even pushing into the seats at all. A little bit of a pocket storage right here. If you're sitting where the baby seat is, if the baby seat is not here, which by the way is very easy to install, fits perfectly in the seat as it should, which is very nice. But if it isn't here, or if I just need more room while I'm installing it, I can actually control that passenger seat from here, but we've got enough room in this vehicle where the passenger, again, is not compromised by the child seat whatsoever. So really good news if you have a family. We've got vents here as well as our own climate control, so it is a tri-climate control vehicle. Very nice. You can control everything. Is very simple, but there is some other controls to access. So what you want to do is you want to pull this guy out. It's kind of like a big armrest. Usually this is where we find the cup holders. Oh, not this time though. This, of course, is where we still find the cup holders, but now I access my heated seat setting from here. I've got a little bit of storage with 2 USB-C ports in there as well. And then this magical button in the middle looks like it should open and close this, but it doesn't. What it does is it does this. I'll press the button and check this out. An extra little sunshade. So perfectly good for my child when there's sun out and I'm worried about her getting sunburned because she's sleeping or whatever in here. I just fold that guy up, fold those guys up, and it's very, very nice. And it just goes right back with the touch of a button. So the passenger can control that. There's also a button, which I'll show you in a second, in the front. But yeah, overall, an extremely luxurious place to spend time here in the rear. It's as good to drive in as it is to be driven, but let's check out the front. All right, so next up is, of course, the front seats. Again, we have the Bang & Olufsen system right here. Then we have 2 seats of memory seat settings, and then we have the button right here to close the back blind if you want to. You can't close the other ones for the windows because those are manually operated, unfortunately, but that's fine. Seat is all power adjustable. You can see the seats here as well. Very nice quilt all throughout the vehicle. Again, red on red on red. So let's hop in here. So once you're sat in the vehicle, red steering wheel, red dashboard, red here. I mean, red ambient lighting too, which you can't see right now, but still. You can see right off the bat that compared to something like the Genesis G70, this got the full Genesis upgrade for 2025, which means we have this massive screen that combines our gauge cluster and our infotainment display all into one. But let's start with our steering wheel here. Very nice, very clean, D-cut, big enough for the vehicle. I feel like they could have gone bigger and maybe gotten away with it, but still, this is fine. We have like kind of this BlackBerry type swipe control that will allow me to control some stuff on the infotainment display should you need to. Volume control, quick access buttons, favorite buttons are here. Very simple plastic paddle shifters, but honestly, you're not going to use them very much. I don't care that it's plastic. Then I have my cruise control, my lane centering, which is class leading. I'm telling you, it is just, it gets you dead center in that lane and it doesn't move. All the way to the left, we have the traction control button, the trunk button, and also the illumination controls right there. Now we'll move on to our digital infotainment display. You can do a few different things with it. So I can change the widget here in the middle, kind of display different things. I have it displaying the fuel and different things like that right now, but also I can change kind of the theme where you can have more of like a digital theme, and then if I press it again, it'll go back to normal. And I could also change the map here. I can have this. I can just kind of have it all one. So if I bring up the map on this side, you can see it just brings up this huge kind of screen here, which is really cool. So you can kind of play around with that. I typically tend to stay on just this screen right here. It's classic. And then of course, if I switch through my drive modes, I'll show you. We've got the sport mode, sport plus, which makes it look like lightsabers, and then my mode, which kind of resets it back to the default. Very cool. There's also this guy right here. It's going to watch your eyes while you're driving, but very nice. But if you just move over, you can see there's no gap. Like, it's just straight up screen. I don't think this is touch screen, but this is definitely touch screen right here. And I like how it kind of flies in, like it disappears into the other side, almost behind the gauge cluster. Very cool. But let's say you don't want to touch it because it is kind of a far reach, right? You do have this little knob. This is how you do it. If you're going to have, a far touch screen, you want to have a knob, but you still want to use the touch screen. You still want to have that available for your users. And so they've done it very well. This is kind of there's a lot going on here. You got to sit down and really kind of set it up for yourself. You can change your seat settings. I got massage front seats, ventilated front seats, all that stuff. Built-in Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. That's your standard stuff. If I do 3D setup, this is pretty cool. This is where, like, if you don't know where to go, this is where it's going to help you. So you can do, 3D setup. You can customize your doors, your driver assistance, your lights, or I can go see inside. And then if you need to customize some things on the inside, you can choose which one you'd like to do, and you can customize it from there. So that's a little bit easier to get around should you not know where things are, but nothing's really hidden. It's relatively simple, and I'm most of the time using Apple CarPlay, which takes up this whole screen, and then I've got this one right here. So really nice stuff. A little bit lower, got that classic kind of, take notes, other brands. So if you're not going to give me physical buttons, this is how you do it, right? We've got like this kind of haptic feedback button for our ventilation controls. I can change everything from here. I do have knobs still, which is very nice. Volume tuning knob, all there, and then we have the temperature adjusting knob right there as well. So still got something, and then quick access buttons all along the top. This is a very good iteration of it. Lots of piano black though, so you can see my hand, it's like a mirror almost. Maybe don't like that too much, but it's kind of the only way to set this up. And then I like here though, here would be a very high touch area. You know, people are gonna touch this. This is not piano black, so this is not gonna get all disgusting and dirty. You're not gonna see a lot of the fingerprint marks on this. And also your cup holders are right here. Very good job there, because I'm going to need to touch it right here for my gear selector, which, you know, you've seen in a lot of Genesis now. It's kind of the standard thing. And then, of course, we have our knob and more quick access buttons right there. 360-degree camera, which is phenomenal looking. Pretty high quality. You could do the 360 view if you want. You can kind of zoom in on different angles, front, back, left, right. You got it. It is there. Wireless charging pad in here. A little bit of storage in this guy as well. Hard to complain about it. Plenty of room for the passenger. I like the whole design here. Everything feels really premium. Even this is kind of got the Alcantara nice feel to it. This up here, the liner as well, very, very nice. Again, it is something different interior wise, and you'll see in a second when we take it for a drive. It's not an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes. It is not one of those. It is different. This is what you get if you want something different. You're tired of the classic German stuff. You just want to look different and feel different, and this definitely does a good job of that. So very cool. But let me strap that GoPro to my forehead like usual, and let's take it for a test drive. Let's go. All right, so on the road now, Genesis G80 Sport Plus, fully loaded. Yes, sir. And what an experience it has been to live with this thing for pretty much a week at this point. Very, very nice. I mean, I literally just got back from driving it downtown, plenty of traffic, and it was just comfort the whole way through. And I think that's where you really want to evaluate something like the G80 is not how fast it is or how much horsepower it has or how loud it is even. It's more just how convenient is it to live with, how luxurious is it. Like, that's kind of what will make this good. And I mean, I guess elephant in the room, no, it isn't an Audi, a Mercedes, and a BMW, but it's not really trying to be that. Yes, it has like the luxury aspect and then also a little bit of the performance aspect, but it looks so different. And I feel like the Genesis G80 is something that you're going to want to buy or look at if you're tired of, you know, the designs of the Germans, and that's completely reasonable. I'm sure there's a decent amount of folks out there that are actually tired of it, and that's why you see a couple of Genesis I rolling around. I mean, I see a ton of them here in Montreal. They are mostly the SUV kind. Don't really see the sedans, but the SUVs are absolutely everywhere. But speaking of a little bit of performance, we do have it. Let's join the dark side. You can see my gauge cluster kind of lights up with like lightsabers when I go into Sport Plus mode. So that's kind of everything on 10. Let's give it some beams here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely got it. Nothing crazy that's like gonna scare you or put you back in your seat really, but I think there's pumped in audio. I mean, I'm pretty definitely sure there's pumped in audio here, but look, it doesn't actually sound that bad. I'm actually kind of here for it. You can turn it off, but I actually don't mind it. It kind of adds a little something to it. And also it's weird, like I feel when I like let go of the accelerator, I feel the bolstering like loosen up, but then when I push, I feel my seat get tighter. I don't know, maybe that's just because it's pushing me a little bit back into the seat, but it's interesting. Definitely in the Sport Plus mode though, the seat bolster like really comes in on you. You're really held in very nicely. Also the steering improves, the suspension stiffens up a little bit, but honestly, even in Sport Plus mode, I am very comfortable. I believe it has a technology where it can kind of see the road ahead a little bit and adjust on the fly for potholes and stuff. So it's really giving me a nice ride quality. Handling and stuff, like I said, is okay. Brake and throttle response are exactly what you'd expect. Like in corners, and when you're really trying to play with this car, it's going to fight back a little bit just because it's kind of heavy. It is a quite heavy vehicle, and it kind of drives a little bit boaty. If you want something that's like kind of fast or really fast and is nimble, then you're going to want to downgrade to the G70, but you lose your space and stuff like that. For me, being like kind of like a family guy at this point in my life, I do kind of prefer the bigger, more heavier vehicles. just because it gives me a lot more room, and space when you have children is kind of a big thing. And so I tend to opt for that, but still, it's very good. I also have like elite level lane centering assistance. So you're not supposed to take your hands off the wheel when you do this, but I can do it. It will only yell at me, which is funny. It will only yell at me to do it, put my hands on the steering wheel when it wants to turn. So we'll see once we get up to this curve, you'll see it's going to start yelling at me to do it. But right now it's going to be fine. And also, obviously, I have a sensor there that's probably watching my eyes. I'm sure the sensor finds it weird that I have a camera on my forehead, but it's not yelling at me for it at the moment. So so this is where it gets a little dicey, right? Because it's not going to necessarily know when to do it. Yeah, so there you go. Now it's going to tell me, put my hands there. There you go. And as soon as you're out of the curve, it pretty much will take me right back. So it's just a little touch, honestly. So like if you're doing a long road trip or something, obviously you got to keep your hands on the steering wheel or near them. You can't really, this isn't like an autopilot or a self-driving service. It's merely just a really good lane centering assist. And yeah, but still, I think that would be kind of elite on road trips. Little rip here. Oh yeah. I don't want to go too crazy because I just saw one of the little boys in blue, we'll say, and if there's one, usually there is more, and I don't feel like getting stopped in this thing today, so we're gonna take it easy. But still, like, I can easily go into like my drive mode now, where I still have the engine in Sport Plus mode, I have the steering in Sport mode, and I have the suspension in Comfort. So now I'm getting like the elite comfort level. Like now it's basically deleting every single pothole that there is, and it's really cool. Like I've been saying, like it feels very close to like SUV level ride quality from a sedan, which is kind of rare to say because sedans typically are going to ride a little bit rougher. You know, they don't have the big body like the SUVs do. But look, this thing is really, really solid, really, really comfortable. Visibility is also really excellent too. Nice and big windshield. I like also that I can control that kind of screen in the back. I don't know if you can see it in my mirror here. I can control like the blind in the back. It's very cool, especially when you have children too, to be able to, like, you know, if she's sleeping or something and I'm worried about sunburn or the sun getting in her eyes and waking her up, that really makes a big difference. And like you can see, it's just nice to just cruise around a back road if you want to and just, you know, relax. It's very versatile, but it's really luxury focused. And, you know, if you're looking for something that has the performance of the German vehicles but isn't, the Genesis is kind of the only one. I mean, like, I like it like this. It's definitely not a Hyundai. Definitely, like, they do share some similarities still, but I really don't think you can call this a Hyundai still. I just think they've done enough at this point to not have that nameplate attached to them any longer. It's also got all-wheel drive, which is really, really nice, especially like if you live in somewhere like I do where, you know, every other day it's snowing. So you really need something like all-wheel drive to kind of, you know, make your winter driving a little bit more confident. So I like the fact that this is a sedan that still comes with some all-wheel drive. Very useful. You'll be able to survive winter with this thing, no problem. So yeah, overall, the Genesis G80 is a solid luxury vehicle. I find it convenient. There's really nothing in here that says I wish I had it. I wish I had more or less of it. It's just, obviously it's expensive. You maybe are a little bit less in the price point, you know, to the German, so it's competitively priced that way. And I feel like you're getting a lot of the stuff that the German brands have for not that much money here in this Genesis. So it's a huge steal. It's a huge plus. If you like the Genesis, but some people just, you know, they just don't like the design, and that's completely fine too. And I get it. I hear you. I in some ways I can see it. But look, this is a very excellent price point, a very good luxury vehicle, a convenient luxury vehicle, and it's just fun to drive. I mean, it's just a good daily driver. If you can afford this thing, I really don't see why or how you'd be disappointed. But of course, I want to know what you think. Why are you considering the Genesis G80, and why would you not? Why would you go with the German? What do you think the Germans have that the Genesis G80 doesn't? Is it reliability? Is it, you know, I really want to hear from owners here, you know, because I don't own any of these vehicles. I only own them for a week, so I don't really know long-term of any of them. Germans, Korean, whatever you want to call it. I don't own them that long, so I really need you to tell me what it is that you think about it. And yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe if you want more videos just like this one. If you want me to get cooler cars and more cars and different things like that, your support on this channel, you subscribing, it does a lot for me being able to go and pitch this to other brands and stuff like that. So make sure you like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.